Welcome to Conversations from the Heart, honoring Andrew Cohen through our stories. My name is Daniela Bomater. I was a student of Andrew's for 17 years, and for the past 9 years, I had the privilege of living and working alongside him. This series is a tribute to his life, his teaching, and the evolutionary fire he sparked in so many of us. Through these intimate conversations, we remember not only the man, but the depths of transformation he catalyzed in our lives. May these stories keep his legacy alive, honoring the sacred thread that connects us and allowing his voice to continue resonating through ours. So welcome Max, welcome Apoorva.
Hello.
To these Conversations from the Heart about our relationship to Andrew Cohen. And it's interesting. Today, 2 hours ago, I had a conversation with a former student of Andrew's that met him in the first year, like 39 years ago, and was with him for a long time. And then I was thinking the two of you are an expression of the youngest students. Yeah, you met him in the, yeah, you can say it yourself when, but in the last 10 years when he started to teach again after the crash of Enlighten Next. So that's very interesting also to as a contrast, and yeah, it's good to have this conversation with you. So the way I always start is to just ask you, where did you meet Andrew? How did you meet Andrew? And what made you stick with him and follow his teaching and come to retreats? And what was it in the connection to Andrew that struck you, if there was anything like this? Apoorva, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for having us here. And the first time I met Sir, as I call him, yeah. So I met him at 2019 at a retreat in Pyramid Valley, where there was like this 4-day retreat, a spiritual science program, like what that was going on. And so you know, I met various kind of spiritual teachers there, but then when it came to the talk on evolutionary enlightenment given by Sir, he was just sitting there on a chair all by himself, and he delivered for the first time in me, like it sparked an evolutionary, like, you know, fire, like something I could recognize, something in me which I always wanted. Like, this is what I was looking for in a spiritual teacher. Like, you know, it was like an immediate connection, and like I can explain it as a feeling of like a fire. That's what comes to me. It was like, it was aliveness, the aliveness in the teaching, and the invitation to wake up to the evolutionary impulse itself. So that was very new for me, coming from India, where it's usually a practice of surrender and letting go. So this was the teaching first time I heard, where it was giving me the agency to participate in the evolution of consciousness. So that was very attractive for me. And after that, I started attending the satsangs we used to have at his apartment in Bangalore. And for me, like, I would just wait. At that point, I was practicing, you know, dentistry, and I would be moving from clinic to clinic, and my work would be busy, keep me busy. But I would wait for that 1 hour every Wednesday. Like, my focus was just, okay, that 1 hour where I'm looking forward. All of a sudden, like, there was a shift in my life. So where I was just like, okay, I'm waiting for that 1 hour, and it would excite me. And that 1 hour would be like a beautiful exploration we would have together about the nature of consciousness, which is something I had never been a part of or experienced. So that was very captivating for me. And after that, I became a student and a resident. And it was also the intersubjective dialogue, which was very new. And it's like an application of what, you know, we are learning otherwise just in theory. So
yeah, let's talk more later probably about the intersubjective dialogue. I think that's a very important part of the last years, yes, and of all the years, but for us, I think it was a very, very important practice. But Max, you could probably share your story, and then we go more into other
Yeah,
aspects.
I heard about Andrew years ago. I heard about him as a very uncompromising, very demanding teacher. And I was involved with another very powerful awakening teacher. And then somehow our destiny was that our paths separated. And 3 years ago, I shifted in Tiruvannamalai. And I was looking for the teacher because I don't know, maybe some other people can, but I definitely, I knew that I need somebody to guide me to, I need a teacher. So, and the Tiruvannamalai is like a spiritual Disneyland. Lots of things are possible here. And it took me 1 year to, actually, I remember this day, I was riding my scooter around the Arunachala. It was a very sunny, very good day. And suddenly I got this thought, I wonder where is Andrew Cohen lives. I remembered that moment. And like 5 minutes later, I came to my home and my companion said me, Max, look, I saw the poster. Andrew Cohen is down. And I was, wow, that's, yeah. And when I met him for the first time, when I came for his meeting, I was expecting to meet somebody intimidating, actually. And I was surprised to see very sweet, intelligent, very soft man. And yeah, from the first meeting, something happened, something shifted in me. And then I was trying to participate every meeting, every possibility to meet him. That, yeah.
That was in 2022, yeah? When you came to the South Sound.
2023, January.
January 23. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Wow.
2 years. 2 years. We have a story for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a profound story, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's something special.
Yeah. So I would like to go a little bit into how you perceived Andrew. You described it already beautifully, but what was it? What was the attraction of Andrew? What was it that was so magnetic that I think we all felt it, that wanted us to be with him, with his teaching, and grow. Like I always felt like one of his skills or part of his transmission was that he made us want to grow and develop and sit up straight and try to be our best selves. No.
He was an example. First of all, his energy is something enormous, something which you really can feel when you meet him. It's like you sit in the room and it's like feeling the mountain come inside, you know. And his way of teaching, when he preached, he becomes like a 4-story buildings, like a creature, like a very strong energy. It's smash all the doubts. It's like direct, going direct inside. And at the same time, he had such a sense of humor, such an easy way to explain. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, and then he's very different from others who I met in my life, because his approach is very different, and first of all, it's very clear. It's very clear teaching, very kind of complete teaching, which I liked it very much. And yes, and the energy, it goes together with the energy.
What was it in the teaching that both of you felt so attractive? Apoorva, you pointed to the evolutionary part, yeah, like that we actually can participate in evolution. What else was it that made his, or still makes his teaching so powerful?
For me, it was the precision. Like, it was just like the way he used his words to describe the indescribable. So that was very powerful, because I had never seen anyone do that before. And that was definitely like an evolved part of the consciousness doing that for us. So through him. And that was very captivating. And when I never expected I would stumble upon a guru, but then he became a guru figure, and he was just so consistent. Because I have also attended, because we had just started the online satsangs, and there were days where we would just have 6 of us or 4 of us or 7 of us in the online satsang. But there was that just that equal dedication. Every time he came, he showed up as that what he was teaching. So that was something it was undeniable. Like it was magnetic, it was so attractive, and you just want to give into that. And his care for the evolution of consciousness, and the way he would engage with us, and even in the dialogue part of it, right? Like he would just, with so much care, he would answer every one of us the way we had to hear it also. Because there are times in these 6 years I've asked him the same questions over and over and over again. And exactly, for me also, I have just seen the patient, kind, loving side of him. And it was just a beautiful relationship I had with him, because it transformed something in me. And I think, like you said, it's consciousness recognizing itself. It was something in me recognizing in him, and that was something that really connected us, I feel, because he pointed to the real thing itself. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, may I?
Go for
frankly
it.
speaking, I was a bit addicted to the states, which possible to, so to say, get on the satsangs. And and somehow he found a way to explain, to show me that it doesn't matter how many thoughts I have. It doesn't matter what the mood, was it good day or bad day. The enlightenment, the freedom is a position which I can take any moment. It's a position. It's a position where I let go of my mind, staying vigilant, let go of my mind, and it's a conscious choice. It made everything very different. It turned everything kind of, the perspective of it. It's such a, such a gift from him. He found this just to show me what is possible, not to be depending on the states, not looking for the, not, but to make a conscious choice every time.
Mm.
Yeah. So for me, it was also the 5 tenets. I mean, that became like my mantra every day. Like, I would just like choose your freedom, face everything. It was just take responsibility. I don't know any other mantras, but this really, really set a different kind of momentum in myself. And the beautiful Sangha also, like that was also very attractive, the beautiful people part of the Sangha. So I felt like it was like this momentum that was being generated through all of us, through the teachings. And also something which just kept me going and coming more and more and going deeper into the teachings. And yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I often think, like, in the last 10 years since Andrew was teaching again, we were all highly benefiting from all the learnings from the earlier times and from everything that everybody went through. And we were standing on giants, we were also standing on the experience of a Sangha that already was in this experiment and was close to Andrew, and there were difficulties, and therefore at one point it crumbled. But I felt like we had the opportunity to do it all over again with an Andrew that had learned so much from all the experiences, and at the same time hasn't lost anything of his power of transmission and of, as you both described, the precision and the simplicity of the teachings that were still so mind-blowing. And I wanted to ask you, Apoorva, and probably also Max, I'm not sure, but with Apoorva, I'm sure Andrew was very interested in cultural conditionings also, yeah. So can you talk a little bit about what it helped you, and the teaching helped you to kind of break out of your Indian structure, or structures,
yes.
one can say that, yeah. And I know you already broke out before you met Andrew, but Andrew probably helped you to see some of these things better and be able to take it forward, yeah.
Oh yes, I mean, total credit goes to him, because when I met him in 2019, I had just come out of my rigid family structure here. And then after that, a few months later, I just one day, like, I think it was also serendipitous manner. Like, I just felt this need to take my phone and just see. And then I went to the retreat and I met him. And after that, like, the teachings really helped me come out of my, I think my imagination of what enlightenment is. First. And two, it made it a very real experience. Like, his teachings gave me the agency to be an agent in my own life. And he beautifully also brought in the integral, part of it. And he explained the different structure stages of evolution. So that was also that way the teaching was just so whole, because it explained to me very detailedly what is a positive ego, what is a negative ego, what is the authentic self, and what is the evolutionary. So I could see all these discern these various paths in me. And as I did that, and just the teachings of meditation to pay attention and let go, or it could be in the becoming to pay attention and respond. They were very simple teachings, but when you actually practice them, they work in a very beautiful way, where it naturally leads to your evolution also in these different structures you're a part of, and the conditions I was attuned to. So it could help. It just beautifully brought me out of that. And it was including all of that. It was, again, not like saying, excluding them. It was including them. And it was that beautiful thing where he describes it as from the wrong relationship to zero. And then he helped you go into that freedom, the states of nothingness. And then he really, really helped us even have the right relationship to everything around us. And that beautifully helped me evolve. It could be in my work. It could be in my family. Like, I could just put things to the right place and evolve and in the retreat, the last retreat we had in 2025, this was the first time I had been a part of even the becoming part of the retreat, where we had the intersubjective dialogue. So yes, that was a big part of the teaching, which really, really helped me again break out of these structure stages or conditionings that were very, very strongly ingrained in, like, say, in India. Because in India, until then, it was like I had various gurus, some not in the form. So it was all about, I would experience these absolute states, but it was more in the form of surrender.
Yeah.
Every time I surrender, and then there's something that comes out of that. But with Sir, it was the first time I could experience that opposite of that, where you take the complete responsibility for what's happening around you. And that, I think the teachings itself, when you practice it, it beautifully helps you evolve.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautifully described.
Yeah, I would like to say a couple of words. So this culture conditioning, it's a very strong in people and me. And
you are Ukrainian, just so that people
yes,
who listen to this
being
know.
Ukrainian, being Eastern Europe, you need to be tough to survive. And yeah, I mentioned that Andrew has a very good sense of humor. So, and we established very good connection from a very beginning. And yeah, sometimes he was making a joke about my kind of Western Europe conditioning. And yeah, and I was able also to laugh about it with him. And now I can see sometimes I'm laughing the way I behave, the way I talk. It's yeah. I what to say? I would say I'm more soft now.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was excellent in pointing to these cultural conditionings,
right.
no? And
Yes.
sometimes
Right.
it was a little, we kind of contract a little bit and feel like,
Yes.
no, I'm not that Swiss. Or, but then you realize, oh yeah, I actually am.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
No.
and the Sangha we have here, yes, it's so international, it's so worldwide. And in front of other people from different countries, from different culture, you can easily see your things. It's like
Yeah.
it's very funny how it works. It's like everybody has something, and then you can see your things.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, and I also just realized that with the two of you, or the three of us, because our Sangha is still very, very small, we also were blessed with having a relationship with Andrew that was a mix between personal and impersonal, or with the guru and with the man, the human being, Andrew. Like he wasn't remote somewhere on the pedestal and we the three of us were very close to him at times, and had a lot of meals together and a lot of fun and a lot of listening to music or making jokes or talking about politics. And I find that very interesting to mention also, because I do think that we were piloting a new kind of guru disciple relationship in this new incarnation with him when he started to teach again. And I had a lot of conversations with him about that. But I know that the two of you for sure experienced that too, that it was a very multidimensional relationship that we could have with him. And this was very beautiful, and it also meant a lot. And I wonder what you think about that for ourselves, like to distinguish when the guru was talking, like seriously pointing to something that we had to kind of stop in our tracks and let in and see, because he wanted us to see it. and when there was space for the jokes and the fun and the just the casual being together. And I found that a very, very interesting mix, and at times also challenging to find the right balance, no?
Yes, he's such a man that it's naturally you respect him. Yeah, and naturally he's a bit here, but the energy, and so we shared lots of informal conversation, lunches, and so on. I was invited to his house, and I mean, and this makes a difference. It's like you can see how Guru behaves in the regular life, how he's talk, how he's joking, how he's doing things. And that's what I like, actually. That's the big part of a teaching, just to watch him, how he's moving, how he's, I don't know, eating, talking. And in the same time, yeah, I respect him very much. And yeah, it never was a conflict, or I hope I never, I mean, yeah, but it works together. It works very much together. When he preach, when he talks, it's the natural response. It's sit and hear and kind of absorb it. And when he behave informally, it's very easy to be part of his company. Yeah. He never put himself, especially like I am here, you are here. It's never was like this. But naturally, it was this shift, like a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think likewise for me also, I never had an issue with the guru position and the, informal part of it. There was a beautiful flow to it. Like, when we were in the satsangs or in the teachings, it was just like this, okay, I need to give my all attention, no questioning that position, because there was complete trust. It's this beautiful trust that developed over these 6 years for me. And, it was beautiful because every time I had an experience, he would just be like, yes, that is it. So, when he pointed that, or when he so lovingly invited, or was that bridge for us to take that leap of faith. When I saw him do all of these with so much vulnerability and strength, and, for the sake of the whole, basically, I could just feel that. And all I wanted to do is give into that completely, no questions asked. And then there was this, because it was beautiful how it built over these 6 years, every meeting. And yes, the informal part was fun because we used to discuss about everything from politics to music to food, a lot of food. And at that point, he would let me also take the hierarchy wherever, I think I knew more. So he would also allow me to, and listen to me and respond. So, it was just a beautiful dialogue or a flow we had between these guru position and the friend or the father. So, it was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
I think essential components, the love, of course, the love. I can see people love him, but the love is not enough. I think it's this trust and this respect. That's what is very important for me, to trust and to be trustworthy, to feel kind of he can trust me also. That makes everything such such easiness, such a naturalness in it.
Mhm.
Love is beautiful, but trust and respect, it's like...
Yeah. It's very interesting when I listen to you. I realize again something that I'm thinking a lot about. I think in our small sangha over the last 6, 8, 9 years, we really were able to create a structure, and not official structure, but a structure in consciousness that was a true expression of what Andrew called natural hierarchy. And everything that you're describing actually speaks to that. My feeling is like a vortex that came together between all these students of Andrew's that had different years of experience, different depths of engaging with the teaching, and Andrew as the teacher, as the guru, holding it all together. And it had such a natural aliveness and verticality and beauty and truth and trust. It's almost like a lot of what he always envisioned was actually starting to manifest in our sangha in a very natural way, and without all the negatives and the pressure that had been present before the crash. I really feel we were able to restart something. He was able to restart something with all the learnings in it, and still with the power of transform people. So let's talk a little bit about the intersubjective work. I think that's very important also to speak about, because Andrew Sangha's intersubjective breakthrough happened in the year 2001, and then in 2013, 12 years after, Enlightenment Next crashed. And up to that point, a lot of holonic work and evolutionary dialogue and enlightened communication, as it was called at the beginning, was happening in the community. And then we started again probably 6 years ago, Apoorva, very quick. When you joined, then short after we started, probably 5 years ago, mainly online, because we didn't have so many retreats, physical retreats. So the main work was online when we started Manifest Nirvana, our online ashram. And we restarted the holons. And yeah, it's probably good to describe a little bit how the holons evolved and what we experienced in the holonic work. And also, I can say for myself, I felt deeply that the structures that were created to enable the holonic work and the intersubjective work were right there when people had the right position or took the right approach to access it. It's almost like it was there in the cloud and we needed the key and to open the door, and it was all right there, no?
Yes.
And still is, obviously.
Yeah, for me, this was the first time I was part of something like this, of course. So it was very new for me initially. So I'm grateful to all the facilitators also, patiently guiding, because initially it was more like a positive egos coming and having a dialogue, which was also good in the beginning. And then I could just see, because every time, and then as we went deeper and deeper into it every year, I feel they literally were structures. Like you described beautifully. I think it was like a structure already present. And then when we were just following those simple, deep instructions of deep listening and not already knowing and building each other. So these pointers constantly being told to us, and with Sir's guidance, of course, every month, I think we would meet in a holon with him. So all of this really created and built like a structure, I would say a crucible, as he described it.
Yeah.
So where it allowed us to explore into parts of consciousness, and he dared to lead it. That was like, he was the inspiration for us also, like in that sense, where he was guiding us into this completely unknown territory. And then the more we trusted the process and we gave in our all to it, I could definitely feel the holons evolving. And from personal, it went into the impersonal, and then I could feel it go into authentic selves meeting and having conversation about the nature of what was already, like you said, present. Like, I mean, and that was that I mean, in meditation, like we did a 4-day meditation retreat, I remember, online during COVID. And during that, like, I did have deep experiences, very, very deep experience. Again, it's because of the grace of the guru, because even in that, I had that insight when I had the deep experience that this is only possible from the grace. So I was so ever grateful for that aspect of it. But it's only in the later years I realized how important this intersubjective dialogue is, and how I would almost say it's a very sacred work. This is where we get to actually participate and help consciousness evolve through us, through all these different structures, and how beautifully he would always explain these different parts of ourselves and help us, bring forth the authentic self constantly in these dialogues. So I definitely feel the holons evolved, and as you beautifully said, like, we were, I think, building this over the past mistakes. So we had an advantage. Yes, I can feel that, especially after I heard all the recent talks. I could feel that, yes, we had the amazing. So that itself again explains how the teaching evolved over these years, and it was literally a living enlightenment, and he was embodying it for us and paving the way for us to do the same.
Yeah, I'm very new for this work. I never met it before. And I would say in the beginning, I didn't get it. I thought I get it, but I did not. And then a bit later, something shifted. And yeah, he said just a simple thing, Max, it's how enlightenment walks and talks. And for me, it was a main instruction. It's like, and then after this, I can see this people sharing this space of awakening. It's our group. It's like a transmission. It's not just a conversation. It's a real thing. So when enlightenment stands up from a cushion, meditation cushion, and goes to the world, that's how it represents itself, how it looks like. So yes, and in the last retreat, I asked him something, and he said, Max, the consciousness delights itself in the self-recognition, and it made a complete difference after this. Everything became to have this different quality. This dialogues became like it's a very great, powerful tool to be focused on the energy which goes through you, this impulse which goes, and if there is a bit of ego, it kind of makes everything. But when you like a channel for it, it's it's beautiful. And he mentions that we are on the evolutionary train.
Yeah, the leading edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also realized with some in some of the conversations I had with former students that the intersubjective work also significantly changed, because one person that I had a conversation with asked me off camera, "Are you still doing dialogue work?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And he said, "Yeah, and are you still giving so strong feedback to each other?" And I was stopped in my track and said, "No, that's not our practice." And I found that very interesting how, and then I remembered that this was much more present in Enlightened Next, that you had these conversations, and when somebody was off, he or she was corrected right away, like with this feedback, you come from ego, you come from ego. And I feel like what we really practiced in the last years was more like elevating the authentic self contributions, so that the ego, I always feel like it's more like letting the ego fade out left and right, and just give acceleration to the authentic self, no, instead of addressing the ego. And we all have a sense when there is a little bit too much ego, but I think we learn to just not make it so relevant, just starve it a little bit on the side, and elevate everything that comes from the deepest place of ourselves.
Yes, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, the energy is such that even something stuck, and you have this simple instruction to listen, to listen, to listen, to listen, and this energy, yeah, as you said, elevates you. It's kind of clear the way. And it's very easy to be authentic, to be this channel for something bigger.
Yeah, when it works, it's almost like riding a wave. No? It doesn't need effort. You just, ride the wave. Yeah. So I also love to ask you, is there any anecdotes or funny stories or crazy stories or profound stories that you would like to share? Anything that comes to mind? Any experience you had with Andrew that you would like to share?
Max, you want to go first?
Yeah, so the first, what I mean, it's lots of things I can to tell, yeah, but the first what came to my mind, it's so he had this heart operation, yeah, on the open heart operation, and like a couple of weeks after this, I was invited to his place. And he said, Max, you want to see my scar? And immediately he started to unbutton his shirt and kind of showed me this huge scar going like through all the chest. I was like, and then it's like, I don't know, something shifted, and like a time stopped and the colors became brighter, and I could see this glowing heart kind of wanting to burst out from his chest. And it was like, and I remember this thought like, it's a very good the doctors kind of tied him with this bondage, otherwise it will fill, all the room.
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's the moment, it's the moment, and I don't know what. And then I remember he's kind of buttoned him up and kind of smile and wink at me, and yeah, that's the Andrew. That's his way of to make this humor things, and the energy is like a, like a that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me it was like it was just, I mean, for me it was every time, like in the satsangs he would just crack us up with jokes, and his sense of humor I feel was very, very good. And at the same time, it was just I mean, in the last retreat, what hit me really profoundly was, I think after the surgery and all, he had become quite weak. But when he sat, on the chair and he was doing what he was doing, and I feel like I there was this one day, I think it was third day into the retreat, he was just glowing. Like I have never experienced anything like that before, because he was just transmitting the light. And on the other hand, I remember his, just before when he walked in, he was like a little weak and everything on the physical level, but when he sat on that chair, and that hit me very profoundly. I mean, for me, I will never forget that the whole retreat, and how, even though in the physical form he was not in his best shape, but when he sat on the chair, and it's it yeah, even now I get tears. He just gave his all to the teaching itself, to consciousness itself, and he was literally transmitting that. I mean, that is not human. I feel sometimes, like, that is definitely not possible. So that was really, really, really profound for me, when he was able to do these things. And at the same time, there were so many times when we have spent time together, and I will expect him to be strict and come from this higher place, but he would just joke around. And and all the lunches we've had in Tiruvannamalai, and we would listen to music. He would show me all of these famous jazz musicians, which I am not anywhere close to, because I've never even listened to jazz all my life. But so he was I mean, just to give you more context, he was a drummer in his earlier life, and I'm also into drumming now. So, we had that bond. And so, yeah, and also the way he would respond, like, every time, he's so relevant with whatever he talks about. Like that every dialogue he knew what to say, the right thing to say. That always struck me. Like, I was amazed at how he would just give me the right response and ask me the right questions, and the conversations would just go more and more beautiful. And even if it's not in the formal setup, and even when it is the formal setup, he would give his 200%, and he would really help us understand the whole thing. And he was so patient. He was so patient. Like I told you, right? I've asked the same question to him in the 6 years in like 20 different forms. In my defense, each time I had an insight in a different way. But I remember him lovingly saying, Apoorva, but you have already asked me this like 20 times. And I'm like, yeah, but that's okay. I always got a, new insight. And he just laughed. And yeah, I mean, I loved him. I love him. So, yeah, it was just a beautiful, so many moments we had where they were just so light. And
Yeah. Yeah, and when you described how much he still was capable and wanted to teach, even when he got very weak after the retreat, that was even worse. Like he gave satsang until 28th of February, so that was 3 weeks before he died, and he was so weak that I had to hold him on two hands to bring him into the satsang room, and he had difficulty walking. And then he sat down on that chair and took the first question, meditated first, and then took the first question. And he was right there. There was nothing missing up to the last satsang. Nothing. Not a little bit. Not a little bit. The feeling of, oh, Andrew is weak, and we can feel it in the satsang. You could not feel it in the satsang. That was amazing, no?
True.
yes,
True. It's amazing.
because even after that, when he was in Bangalore, I did get to visit him.
Oh yeah, you saw him there. You saw him how weak
He was
no?
even more weak.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I looked into his eyes, like, there's that steadiness that never went away. And I
Yeah.
mean, I was just, thinking about that, even after I came home, I'm like, wow, what a presence.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yes, he was a very disciplined man, and the way he led his life, it was such an example. And I remember he asked me to set up a full bar in his house, and he said in 1 month he was already very fragile and his body was weak, and he said in 1 month I will do this thing on this, and he did. He was able to perform, I mean, what is not easy to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I work with him with his diet and some supplementations also. And during that time also, I remember him telling, Apoorva, I'm going to be your best client and all of that. So, yeah, I mean, he followed everything I said. He was like a living inspiration.
Yeah, he really was. And he wanted to heal himself, and like from Parkinson's, and just to get strong again, to be able to give to the world what he had to give. That was the only thing that he was interested in, literally the only thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's just amazing, like the dedication to a real bodhisattva. I always thought like that's how a real bodhisattva looks like.
Truly, because I remember like I wanted him to postpone the surgery, take another opinion and all, but he was like, the retreat is in Jan, and
I have to do it now.
I have to be. This is more important than anything else. So I literally saw him give his body, mind, soul, everything to the teaching in real life.
Yeah.
He was a real human, but the main thing, he was a function. It's not a human, it's a function. It's amazing dedication, amazing focus.
A true bodhisattva.
Yeah. Is this a good place to end, or would you like to add anything?
I mean, I'm just grateful. The loss was difficult initially and sudden. And I spent the last few weeks just reminiscing all the memories because they seem to be etched in the mind and heart forever. And that pain has turned into deep, 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 deep gratitude. I mean, and continue the teachings, living the teachings, and I hope we can make him proud.
Yes.
Yeah, and continue. So yeah, I'm grateful, truly grateful.
Yes, I feel him with me, actually. I talk to him 10 times a day, and I kind of consult with him inside of me, and he comes in my dreams. And I'm very grateful, and I don't feel it's the end. I feel it's, but in the same time, the story we have, I was among these people who put him in the cremation fire. It's a very strong experience. And something big happened in that moment. I feel like he lives here. And it's very, very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Lots of gratitude.
Mm. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
delightful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.